So we're going to see if this streaming bit still works. And yes, it is a Retron 5 screen. I've had this thing for a while. I should probably save that part for when we actually start streaming. But yes, we are going to stream this over at the Twitch channel. Theoretically, this should be on the Twitch thing. Oh, good, it still works. Fan-fucking-tastic. That's exactly what I want to see. Okay, then, so if you're somehow watching this live, then welcome, I suppose. I doubt it. Because this is sort of impromptu. I want to see if this works. So that in the future, we'll probably make this a every other weekend midnight thing. But I wanted to get something out, somehow, something, somewhere or other. Anyways, what you're looking at is the main menu of a Retron 5. I've had this thing sitting around for quite some time, so shit. Okay. So we have a screen size, screen refresh rate, match game. I have no idea what any of this stuff does. So, anyways, I figured we'd try a few games. It's the first time I'm actually. This thing needs a clip. I don't know how well the my voice is coming through. But anyways, give that a shot. Mega Man. It reads Mega Man. That's a very good sign that we're reading Mega Man. I'm going to switch controllers here. I'm going to use a Super Nintendo controller. Actually, no, I'm not, because I still have to set this stupid thing up. Okay. Also, I just remembered I don't have the AOSD. Turn to the main menu. Settings. Video, audio, controllers. Feedback. Player 1. SN and SNES controller. Yeah. Button mapping. Current profile. Okay, so A is B, B is Y, start select. Okay, pretty much what, okay. Okay, so it's pretty much what it is. It is what it is, it is what it is. Play. There we go. So, as I'm setting this other thing aside, we're going to play this little Mega Man. I have a few games on hand I want to try out. But we're going to play a bit of Mega Man, just one stage a piece, more or less. Or however long, honestly. Really doesn't matter to me. This is Mega Man. Play with Cutman because Cutman's a fairly simplistic level to get through. beaks. I guess. 4 lives, that's not bad actually. It's not too shabby. Anyway. Just checking my audio settings. Hearing some audio, I guess. I suppose. Lower that a bit. Okay. So I got that. For the beaks. With the beaks. So, this Retron 5 thing had a bit of controversy because of the emulators and stuff. The only controversy with me was it was something I wanted to get early on because the idea was sound. You know, and I figured a whole bunch of consoles for like $100. Figured why not? Then the price went up. And I'm like, or something like that. The price went up. It was originally supposed to be a lot lower than what it eventually retailed for. And I'm gonna lower this a bit actually. Not too much. Actually, I'll higher it. Lower it on my end. So we're getting all these fuck ups live and in living color. I narrowly dodged that Susie there. There we go. Yep. I gotta do this really old school. Actually, that's not the one I gotta do so-called old school on. Because usually this would be the third stage I'd play. I'd normally you'd start with Bomb Man and then you go Gutsman and then you go to Cutsman. Cutman. It's Cutman, not Cutsman. We're not fucking Captain N. Anyone remember that old cartoon, Captain N, the Game Master from the 80s? I wonder how well that would have held up, because I haven't seen that show in a while, but whatever. Anyways, down we go. Big Eye. Ooh. Ooh. There we go. Usually the big guy is not that cooperative. The beak's not that cooperative either. That's okay. Win, lose, or draw, we're fuck. Win, lose, or draw, we move on to the next game. We got a bunch of games I want to test because I figure why not. And Cutsman, cut. It's cut. I don't know why I'm calling it Cutsman. Get confused, but that's okay. Cut or cuts, he's Dead's man. And there we go. I said, there we go. There we go. Turn to the main menu. Switch games. Wait, hold on. Can I... Controller mapping. Hotkey configuration. In-game menu. Down start. Let's try that. Down start. Okay. Alright, so I don't need the other... I'm charging the other controller, which... Okay, I'm gonna hold on to it right now. I'm pretty sure if you frequent the interwebs, you've probably seen this a billion times already, but this is a thing that feels like a brick. Doesn't weigh as much, but it feels like it's an unwieldy thing, which is too bad because it has a nice clicky controller on all that and micro switches and stuff. You know, that really nice stuff. But I'm not a fan of the form factor. So we're gonna pull this thing out. That was Mega Man, everybody. One level of Mega Man, and I almost tore this thing apart. The console, not the game pack. The game pack is a sturdy piece of cartridge. Unknown cartridge, that's always a good sign. Not only... And, shit. Fuck. There we go. I didn't have to blow into it or get some Q-tips and alcohol or any of that bullshit. I was going to play a bit of Power Blade. Back to the in 2191, Earth's blissful existence was governed by a powerful master computer. It's called Twitter, and it made everyone into dumb people and stuff. So we're gonna start the game here. Normal. We're only going to play a bit. We're not going to play a full-on game here. Sector 1. A great game. Until you fall to the ground. How do you fall to the ground and die when you have a floor at the beginning? That's fucking stupid. That's a NES trope. That's just a thing that happens. Not entirely realistic. It doesn't make sense, but whatever. And I mean, come on, let me just... Duck the shot. Duck the shot. Crap. Crap. Ah, shit. That was my bad, folks. Some days you play a great game, it starts off good, and then there are days, probably because it's my birthday, or it was my birthday as of, according to my clock, 5 minutes ago. Would have loved to have done something like this yesterday, but call it the birthday stream or whatever the case may be, but just too tired. Let's say we just get to the informant and we'll call it a day, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to last through this whole campaign. I really don't want to either anyways. Get the power-ups. So when I did the review for this thing, what was it, like last year? I don't remember. Oh, start. There we go. Recording this off the PVR, which means you're getting the footage. There's a delay between the recording on your screen and what I'm actually playing. So if it sounds like, so if I'm sort of spoiling things ahead, can I make this jump? No. Game over. That was a horrible game. You suck. That sort of thing. Apparently that kind of thing matters to some people, but I'm just messing around with stuff. But wait. There we are. Anyways, that was Power Blade, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe one day I'll actually, probably not on this. Man, this thing's stiff. There we go. Do I want to do another NES game? Well, let's give this a shot. I'm kind of curious. Unknown cartridge. Oh, let's give it a shot anyways. There we go. Actually, you know what? No. We're not going to do that. We're going to try it again. There we go. That's better. That's much better, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so that kind of works, I guess. Yeah, this thing has a bit of a death grip to the cartridges, but so did the FC Twin when I bought it 10 years ago. Actually, it'd be coming close to 11 years ago. After a while, it starts to loosen up a bit. Once you play enough, cartridges in there, and the important thing is, you put a cartridge in, it works, and it doesn't catch fire. Like those, what was it? Those limited edition Street Fighter 2 cartridges that cost $100, and it came with a fire warning. I don't know if anybody actually remembers that. It's something they did last year to celebrate 30 years of Street Fighter as a Super Nintendo cartridge, a reproduction cart of a game you could probably get for like $10-20 loose. So, but whatever. I guess people really wanted that glowing thing. I don't even know what am I. Anyways, let's start the game. What kind of name should I give myself? or something. I don't know. We're just playing one stage anyways. One little stage. Nothing too exciting. Okay. You know, let me see the delay on this thing. So, B? Yeah, a couple seconds delay. So you're a couple seconds behind on the footage from the actual live recording. Which, if there was a bit of a delay, because the live footage is actually, you know, almost 1-to-1. But I wasn't too sure about the lag between this and the what you're getting on screen. So by the way, even trying to get this shit to work the way it's supposed to, it's kind of a convoluted setup. Because if I were to try to plug this directly to the, it's an old Hogpog HPVR or whatever it is, the HPVR2 Gaming Edition thing. It works. Still works fine for some of the major stuff. But if I wanted to, but it was fine for like street footage, the software that came with it. But I had to do a workaround so I could do, you know, that sort of thing and you know, talk over the footage without rendering the footage first and then having to do to turn it into something else, bring it into Vegas, and then, you know, act out, you know, pretend I'm actually playing a game when in reality I'm commentating over, you know, 10-day-old footage that I only got around to playing. And speaking of which, I got a couple of things down the pike relating to a couple of quote-unquote major pickups. The classic editions is not one of those things, but you never know, really, I guess. But I'm gonna have those out by the end of the year. It's like, if there's one thing that I would like to do in relation to the channel, is try to get the video count up, because I know it's been lagging these past couple of years, and I really do apologize for that, but you know, shit happens. You know, life usually gets in the way, and I don't monetize this shit. This is still pretty much a hobby, and most of the stuff is done, like, you know, 2, 3 in the morning, because that's usually the only time that I could, you know, sit down and get this stuff done. At least the audio portions and stuff like that. When it comes to the gameplay, I usually do that during the weekend when I have the free time. You know, that gets recorded onto a DVD, which I use to rip the footage and blah 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 blah. It's a really a convoluted, it's almost antiquated setup, but it does work. And it's totally unrelated to the action before you, which is Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. Really a favorite of mine here. Do I want to get that? No, I don't. Okay. Into the bed I go, because that's smart gaming right there. And get whacked by the fucking skeleton knight. Also, pure fucking genius right there, folks. Boom. Now, why they couldn't put this onto the NES Classic Edition, nobody will ever know. Because I don't know if anybody fixed this. I don't know if they fixed this for the later Virtual Console releases, but when they had this thing on the when Dracula's Curse was on the Wii Virtual Console, I don't know about subsequent re-releases there, but I actually did a really ancient, really old video back in the day. I'll see if I could dig it up somewhere along the way, but there was a bit towards the end of the game where Dracula's the final battle with Dracula didn't quite work the way it was supposed to. You know, in terms of the lasers. And I should probably stop playing this, because otherwise I'm gonna just, you know, lose myself. Because I'm just gonna lose myself in this game. It's great. It's a great game. A lot of the Castlevanias are really, even Simon's Quest, which even the worst Castlevania game. I don't know if I want to go that far. There's actually a couple Castlevania games that could go fly a kite, but in any event, there we go. Mega Man X. Never go wrong with Mega Man X. Unless it's on the Legacy Collection and you can't capture any of the fucking footage, in which case you could definitely go wrong with Mega Man X. That's, okay. Alright. Yeah, anyways. Anyways, just playing the intro stage. There's gotta be a way to, hold on. Fuck. Game menu. No, that's not what I want. Video. Image filter. Yeah, so you got all these image filters that I never use because they look awful. Scan lines, which I never really cared for because they look awful. Zoom. Force original resolution. Screen size. Fuck. Audio enhancement. Bass troop. Treble troop. Double boost. Volume. Okay. Just try and increase the volume, I guess. I'm sure this is very annoying to pretty much everybody. All these ding 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 ding, that sort of thing. But you know what? Okay. See how that looks. Does it look bigger? No. You see, zoom doesn't look as zoomed, but whatever. Okay, we'll just go with that then. See, I don't want to go with stretch because stretch looks awful, as it typically does. Also, yeah, I'm noticing with zoom the health meter. I don't know if you noticed the health meter. A bit distorted with the zoom setting, but fuck it, whatever. We'll just leave it. We'll change it afterwards. I can learn some other Mega Man games. Yeah, so the Super Nintendo side, we're doing all the Mega Man X games. Ah, there they are. I've never had that happen to me before, where there was a big old delay with the chopper. I thought that was a glitch with the emulator. There we go. So I just could have stopped midway, waiting for this stupid thing to show up, and then I head in a little closer and it finally shows up. Which has never happened to me before. There was one thing with this game, once upon a time. I've never been able to recreate it, but once upon a time when I think it was one of the first times I played this back in the day. I was fighting one of those things. I blew it up, it fell down. Fucker. There we go. There we go. Anyways. Fighting one of those choppers, it fell down. Apparently I was too close to it and I somehow got crushed by the chopper. And I've never been able to recreate that glitch. It was the funniest thing. But I guess I got smarter or something, I don't know. Maybe it's something I imagined back in the day, which wouldn't be surprising because there's a lot of things you tend to misremember, you know, from way back when. Yeah. But you already dropped, like, yeah. Now we're going to underperform horribly with Vile. Because of course we are. Yeah. What did we do? Ah, crud. Ah. Yeah, so you could kill yourself. You could get killed with a battle with Vile. That's fantastic. I didn't think you could do that, but there you go. Ah, come on. Could have used that health pickup, but whatever. Whatever. It is a thing that happened. Yar. Okay, round 2. It will not be a round 3. Aw. I wanted to lose all my lives. I wanted to get killed all 3 times, but I guess not. Okay, all right. Might as well you know, get this shit over with. Banterlo. There's 0. You know, back when he was just had like a fancy blaster, didn't have the sword. There we go. Okay, nobody cares. Yar, 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 yar. Yeah, yeah. By the way, for anyone wondering, I'm gonna switch to another game. I did get the X Legacy collections, like both of them. A few times I actually did something often don't like doing, to be honest with you. I don't like the pre-order stuff, because pre-ordering is the devil, and or whatever the case may be. There we go, Mega Man X2. Excuse me. Before we do that, normal stretch. Do you want to do stretch? You people really want stretch? Does anybody really want stretch? No. No, we could stretch one of the other games. Force original resolution. What happens if you don't force the resolution? Let's find out. You get a much bigger picture, apparently. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna watch this introduction, because why not? Ah, this is much better. Oh, this is much better. I should have turned off that resolution thing. Oh well. So, that's Mega Man X2. Couldn't play this on the FC Twin because of the C4 chip or whatever it is. It's the chip that allows it to do the wireframe stuff. Wow. Look at them pretty wireframes. This was mind-blowing back in 1995, I guess. Wireframe. I was more blown away by the wireframes in X2 than I was the polygons in Star Fox. Sad but true. But you know what? I don't care. Because... Okay, and this is why you kept it at the original resolution, because the health meter in this size looks like crap. Boom, 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 boom. Smash right into the wall, dude. Smart. Bam. Don't need no stinking health capsule. Here's a shock. Unlike the first X game, you actually have to kill the boss to move on to the main course. What a shock. Boop, 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 boop. Although the one advantage the Legacy Collection has over playing this on a Retron 5, that one has fancier graphics. Wait, that's not what I meant. No, hold on. Wait, hold on. The one thing the Legacy Collection has over the Retron 5, it has fancy borders that fills the black void, which I don't care for. I know some people don't like the fancy borders. Actually, that's a bit of a lie too, because the fancy borders aren't that fancy in Mega Man X Legacy Collections. I kind of like the borders in the original, the classic Legacy Collections a little more, where you had like multiple choices per game, whereas here you only have the one wallpaper per game, and it's the most unsightly one. I gotta check this in a little more. This one. Come on. Come on. There we go. Mega Man X3. Okay. Oh, hold on. We're gonna go back. We're gonna force the. Where is it? Fuck. Force refresh rate. Aspect ratio. Force original resolution. Cause fuck it. I don't want to do the stretched, and it looks the health meter looks like shit. Bit of tea there. Presently 12:29 a.m. 0.2% of dropped frames. That's 335 dropped frames. 40 minutes of gameplay. Excellent. I don't know if that means anything, but whatever. There you go. Yahar. There. Anyways. Probably one of the worst intros of these games, because you just have that one song playing throughout and a shitload of text. Once upon a time, there was a town called Doppler Town. A whole lot of exposition, and you'll have this dar, da, 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 dar, da, 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 dar. Just give me this. I'm happy with this. I'll take this over that other thing. X, I'll clear out the enemies out here. You go ahead and deal with the ones inside. How about you deal with the ones inside and I'll take care of the... Okay, whatever. You don't care. Anyways. La-di-da. This is probably the most expensive, or at least the one that I spent way too much money on, but you know what? I'm not gonna lie and say I probably paid a little too much for this, but you know what? I'm not gonna say I didn't have fun with this game, because I sure as hell did. Mega Man, where have you been? You're far too trusting, X. I like how they label him as Mega Man, you know, to denote he's the one talking, but everybody just calls him X. Because for those wondering, it's technically they're two different characters. Now we get to play 0. And 500 levels of charges. I get, you know, whatever. Anyways, let's keep going. Do I wanna? There we go. I think it was the first time I actually had the foresight to go to the other side. Yeah, guess not, huh? Let's see if we could do this really quickly. So you go in with a full charge. You let go of the button, expecting Zero to fire a shot, and he doesn't. And then he... whatever, anyways. This is why he doesn't go into the goddamn boss rooms. So you don't have that bullshit. But I guess people wanted to play as Zero for... I don't know why people wanted a full... make Zero a playable character in X3. Especially when he was just, you know, nothing more than like a slightly more powerful X in this one. Like X4, I get it, because, you know, he's more like a close range fighter, more of a melee fighter with his Z-Saber and stuff. But in this game, he's just doing, it's just, you know, the Saber's just an extra charge level. But, whatever. Anyways, we got this boss. You know what? I could dodge those things, but I choose not to. See, I can dodge if I wanted to. But because there's really no point. Because he dies in several hits anyways. Or something, I guess, I don't know. Anywho, that was X3. Looks like we've swept most of the enemies out of here. I'll go back and check on headquarters. Call me if you need me. See you later, X. Okay. And that's enough of that. Alright, so we've done our... Let go of my fucking games. I think I'm just gonna stick with the cheap games for this one and not go with... And there goes my Game Boy stuff. Okay. So, in continuing with the Mega theme of our program, in a Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge. And I have to set the buttons up, don't I? Fuck. Fuck. Player mapping. Oh, because I had the NES controller set up. Button mapping, SNES controller used. Current profile. Manage profile. Edit. A, B, Y, L, R. Select start, okay. Say I'll start and last insertion. File manager, system write up, okay. And what really pisses me off, screen refresh rate. Anyways, we're gonna play us some Mega Mans. I just want to blow stuff up, so we're starting with Fireman. Even though typically I start with Electman. I just want to blow some robots up because I'm in a somewhat foul mood, actually. I mean, goddamn, why can't any of these goddamn emulators give me an option where I can have like a little Game Boy screen? I gotta no, we gotta play this full screen because everybody Everybody wants this to be full screen, but full screen graphics looks like garbage. At least I think so. I mean, the way I feel about it is like the you know, if it's for a small screen, it's not going to look very good when it's blown all the way up. And whatever. Anyways. There we go. Boom. Whatever. I'll take the one hit, I don't care. Come on. Come on, you. There we go. Now if I had an Ice Slasher, I'd freeze that, get the capsule. Because I don't have Ice Slasher. Ah, fuck. That was my fault. I didn't mean to do that, but I did do it. And who doesn't love Flicker? This is why you need the Ice Slasher. Or at least... Fuck. Yeah, we're losing a life here, I'm pretty sure of it. Oh yeah, fuck me. Sorry. That really matters. Okay, round 2. Take the blow. With Sniper Joes, I'll usually just take the hit and be done with it. Because at the very least... Because at the very least you could use the invincibility frames to just, you know... Pew 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 pew! Without interruption. Ah, fuck. I didn't mean to do that, though. That's one thing I didn't mean to do. Aw. I guess not. Oh, wait, there we are. You know, worst comes to worst. Take advantage of respawning enemies and just grind. Oh, good. Thank God. Come on, come on. And the bladers here have taken pity on my sorry ass that they opted to go a little slower this time around. Even though they were in no way responsible for me losing a life. Yeah, never could get this down right. That's okay. Somehow I was able to evade all that shit, but there we go. Good health. Use that. I like to have a steady stream of pellets on screen. Shit, yeah. I think I could survive. Fireman in this version is not as much of a pain in the ass as he was in the NES game. Just gotta time your fucking jumps. Like so. And clearly I wasn't doing that. If you keep a good rhythm going, you could just, you know, stand there, hop, shoot a couple pellets, hop, and just... like so. There we go. Not being trigger happy also helps in that regard. You have this wonderful little graphic, which is either wonderful or very horrifying, depending on how much you love looking at robot innards, but there you go. Anyways, that was that. Moving on to the next game in our list. Unknown cartridge. Bullshit. There we go. Produced by Namco Limited. This is what pisses me off about the Retron 5. Okay, then again, maybe not. But, okay, so you still have the Super Game Boy colors. Okay. I think in hindsight, maybe I should have, you know... I should have pulled out Donkey Kong instead. That would have been a better example. That made more use of the Super Game Boy features, or even Street Fighter 2. But, whatever. Anyways, we'll play a quick round of Galaxian. Either... Amazingly, I'm doing far better than I should be doing. Galaxian's always been... A lot of the older shooters, too, have always been, like, hit and miss. Sometimes I'll play a really good game and I'll last a good while. And then sometimes I'll just crap out on the first round. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. That was a pretty good start, actually. No, well, so much for that. Well, that was Galaxian, everybody. Let's move on to the next game. Okay, but that's a good thing. In one way, it's a good thing. They have Super Game Boy colors. What's not such a good thing is that there's no Super Game Boy borders, which is why I... Actually, you know what? This thing uses Super Game Boy color palettes, which is already a step above what you get on the Game Boy player if you were playing this on the GameCube. Initial import of save data from cartridge complete. Oh, fuck. I'm thinking I should have picked something else without a battery backup. Okay. Wait, where did all my saves go? Where the fuck did all my saves go? You asshole. Game menu. Where did all my fucking saves go? This is not a new game. This is not a new cartridge, by the way. I've had this for years, and I've had a whole bunch of saves on this stupid thing. Unless the battery died out. Anyways. Let's pick an appropriate name for the occasion. Let's have some fun. Let's add in another name. We'll see if this adds. I'm gonna see this somewhere down the line. Maybe once I'm done with this whole stream. So fuck. What's the last name I could put on here? Wait, hold on. I got a good name. There you go. That's all I got. I'll stick with the anyways, Tetris DX with the full color palette, so that'll be very nice, I guess. Not the most exciting version of Tetris, but it does work, I suppose. Now I'm wondering if I should attempt, if I dare attempt to whatever. What I wanted to do, what I was wondering if I could play through the whole 3 minutes without ever doing a line, but I'd realized that'd make for a not quite that interesting game, so we'll just go like there, I guess. Brick there. Yep. It's not a bad version of Tetris. I did a video on this. I don't even remember what my reaction is, and please don't go back and remind me if I really wanted to know. I've got the videos on my hard drive. I could go back and check myself if I could be bothered to do so, but yeah. It's a much smoother, or at least a more responsive version of Tetris than the, at least the original, I think. Which, I've got both versions. And you could play, you know, both this and the original on the regular Game Boy, no problem. And the other way around too. You can play this, you know, you'll play the original textures on Game Boy Color. This is one of those black cartridges where it's backwards compatible with the older Game Boy. Not playing a very, you know, fantastic game, but you know, like I said, sometimes there'll be days where I'll play a really good game, and other days I'll play a really mediocre one, and then on rare occasions, you know, just completely shit the bed. Wonderful countdown. Close this session of the game. Please try again, maybe some other time. And yar. So we're an hour and 6 minutes in. Only 335 frames dropped from this stream, which is quite a bit of a surprise actually. Anyways, that covers Game Boys. And fortunately I don't have any Famicom games to try this with this thing. Well, I do, but they're all like, you know, multi-carts and things like that, and I don't think any of those would... Oh, multi-carts, this isn't particularly friendly with multi-carts. Anyways, so we're going to go into the last portion of our escapade here. I'll play Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Is it just me, or is that Sega a little higher pitched than usual? Probably just me. Okay. Pressing the wrong button. By the way, I'm playing all of these wonderful video games with a Super Nintendo controller. Oh Christ, you're gonna have me go to the fucking menu for this thing? I had an SD card laying around somewhere where I had all the options set up, but it's not on here now because I've been, you know, oh, hold on, fuck. Add a new profile. Gee, I wish they added keyboard support to the SNE. Oh wait, there's a hyphen. It's like the one thing I like about the Retron 5 is that you could mix and match the controllers. So if you wanted to play all the formats with a Super Nintendo controller, you pretty much could. I still gotta do this shit. Anyways. Okay, so how the fuck am I gonna do this? AB edit AB. Well, hold on, do I want to do AB? Okay, let's try this out. Let's try something else actually. Y for A, B for B, and C. We're gonna put it on A. We'll do a regular 3-button controller for this setup. Would be nice if I could resume. Anyways, let's try this again once more with feeling. Could have sworn that sounds a little more higher pitched, but whatever. let's play good old Sonic the Hedgehog and run into a goddamn whatever. Already off to a fantastic start. Yeah, so if I'm going to try out a new Sega Genesis thing, usually the go-to system is Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is much like Super Mario Brothers whenever I try a new clone thing. You go with a game that you're really familiar with, and really you go with a game that a lot of people are familiar with, and you go with a game that a lot of people are familiar with, and you use that as a base of comparison. So, I don't know. Boink. Boink. Speed through the level like so. Not gonna bother with the half pipe. Just one level, we're done. One and done. Boom. There we go. See, this is the best way for Sonic to celebrate a victory. It's not with some kind of cool pose. It's him waving his arms, trying not to tip over the platform. Sometimes I'll go one route, sometimes I'll go the other route. It really doesn't matter. Wonder how this plays on the PlayStation 3. Which, I was able to procure for some reason. And, again, I gotta stop myself. Because this is one of those games where, once you start getting into it, once you really start getting into it, it's hard to put down. And, Sonic 2 is definitely on that list. Yeah. Excuse me. I don't know how the bass is like. Let's try that again. Okay, there we got that. So we're gonna try and play Castlevania Bloodlines with a Super Nintendo controller. Some would argue the way this game was meant to be played. I could care less either way. It's just another controller. I've played this game on the Sega Genesis Flashback, which I got from a friend for free, and in turn I bought another questionable piece of clone hardware that I made into a video some time ago. And I don't know why I'm even going. You know what I'm thinking? Since I'm on this point, I do apologize for the lengthy delay, but I do want to look something up here. And This is going to be a whole lot of fun, actually. Go to game facts. I do apologize for here, I'll give you something else to look at. That's all I got. Okie dokie. Lines, cheats. Various level passwords. Okay. So I wanna do a password for the A B item. Okay, perfect. Compatible with my setup here, so I'm happy with that. Settings. Y, B, C. Start. Oh, yeah, right. Sorry about that. Let's go back to the hog pog. Sorry about that, folks. When you're into something, you forget about certain aspects. And we're live, pal. Hold on. I think the mapping's kind of... Wait, let's try this again. Okay, X. T jewel. MT bird. Hey, jewel. Bird, axe. There we go. Now I imagine I'm gonna have to save slot. Yeah, my mapping's fucked. Okay, so we survived that. Alright, so... Alright, that looks good. Yeah, if it looks like I'm gonna take my time here, I haven't played this in a while. So when you so and when you're playing when you if you're gonna play a game that you haven't played in a while, it's a really smart idea to skip to the last level of the game and especially if you're playing with a character that you normally are not accustomed to playing with. So I'm gonna take my sweet ass. Fuck. So I'm gonna take my sweet ass time and I'll get knocked over by the goddamn Medusa. This is the kind of shit you're not gonna get from Igarashi. That much is fuck. Okay, good. So let's see. Alright, so the Retron 5 is able to do what the AtGames Sega Genesis clone systems from the old portable players to the current Sega Genesis flashback systems were unable to do, and that's display this level properly. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I might make this into a separate video somewhere down the line to sort of showcase this. Or actually, you know what? Look up if you want to know what I'm talking about. Look up the review of the Sega Genesis flashback by a Review Tech USA. Anyways, I could stop playing this. Normally it's a game that you can't put down, but since it's with a character that I don't like I don't like playing as Eric. I just stick with John Morris since he's the more familiar Belmont whip-totting type. You know, what can I say? I actually prefer the whip over a guy who could vault to higher levels. So this last one is the one I really want to see if it works. Or if it gets recognized. No card inserted. That's always a good sign. There's no card inserted. Oh fuck, now you're gonna recognize the card when I'm pulling it out. Thanks. That's fucking brilliant. Fan-fucking-tastic. I just did. Oh, fuck. Alright, so I guess that isn't working. I gotta figure out if... Loading. Alright, that's Castlevania Bloodlines. The last cartridge is a reproduction card, that's why it's... a reproduction card that is not recognized by the Retron 5. But will it play? Sega, okay, that's a encouraging sign. Capcom. Probably guess which game I'm playing. But yeah, this is Mega Man the Wily Wars options. Okay. This is really bothering me now. The game works. It's a reproduction card for anyone wondering. But it does work. Current profile. Oh, hold on. That's why. Okay, that's why it's not giving me the. Alright. Let's try that again. There we go. There, okay, that's better. Yeah, I forgot to switch it to my custom setup, and that's why I had the weird button mapping thing. And would you look at that, my saves aren't on there. Fucking brilliant. Well, probably because it doesn't read the cartridge, so it's not actually reading the... It's supposed to be all clear, by the way. There's nothing to load. I'm gonna play Mega Man 3. Remember playing this on emulators back in the day. Was it Genesis or Genesis or whatever it is? One of those old DOS emulators. And it was a mind-blowing thing to be able to play that sort of game. You know, to be able to play this back in the day, because I don't know if anybody don't know the story about the Wily Wars. It was largely a Japanese and European exclusive as far as like a physical copy is concerned. But if you had the Sega channel in the North America, you could play this on the Sega channel. I think that's what it is. I think that was like the only case. But other than that, all I know is that I remember seeing like previews of the Wily Wars in like EGM magazine, and this thing never came to fruition, at least as far as I know. It only stayed overseas one way or another. And since I didn't know anybody that had a Sega channel, because everybody had probably moved on from the 16-bit stuff, or just any kind of video game stuff, I didn't get to play this until the emulator days. So the wonderful thing about emulators, the emulators and ROMs and things of that nature, and I know that's kind of like a sort of a hot topic thing, with the Nintendo and the lawsuits, and some of the ROM sites sort of shutting down or just getting rid of their ROMs. And people are making a really big stink out of it for no real reason. I mean, look, whatever your stance on it, whatever your stance on that whole emulation thing, it's okay, it's whatever, some people are for it, some people, whatever. And, and if Nintendo feels they gotta defend their, they gotta protect their copyrights, they gotta do these, the cease and desist things, or sue the sites and whatever the case may be, it's their prerogative, or it's their IPs, that sort of thing. But if, for anyone who honestly thinks that the whole ROM sharing community is gonna die out, it really isn't. That's never gonna go away. It's going to, this is going to like really curtail it, but it's not going to completely die a death. I mean, Nintendo has cease and desist other stuff and taken other stuff down, but you could still find that stuff if you look really, really hard enough. Like, I was able to find a copy of that Metroid 2 fan remake. Yeah, like, I think it was AM2R or something like that. And I was able to find a copy of that long after Nintendo had done the cease and desist. And, you know, once this stuff is on the internet, it's not going to go away. It'll just be harder to find, but it's never really going to go away. So, you know, if you're really into that whole ROM scene, you know, it's a phase. It'll be back. It won't be the same as what it was before, but it'll take a different form. That sort of thing is still going to be around. You know, the same thing as any kind of like piracy, cracking, stuff like that. They could come up with all sorts of different like security, you know, DRM measures and stuff like that. But eventually that stuff gets cracked, and you know, you're never going to curtail piracy for the sake of piracy. And I'm going to close this up. Hour 31 minutes. Go fucking figure. I'm going to pull this cartridge out, and I'm going to power this system off. It's going to take 5 years to shut off. There we go. So that was me testing the what's his face there? The Retron 5 that I've had buried in this stupid whatever it is, something. Tis something. I have little weird dots on my display. That's okay. Yeah. And yeah, so that's the live portion, everybody. We'll see if we could do more of these, and after an hour 33 minutes and counting, 569 frames, only a 2%, 0.2% drop of frames. Not that bad. So anyways, just testing out the stream. Not much to say in that regard, and yeah. So I'm gonna cut myself from the stream right now, and we'll see if this hits the YouTube sometime in a few hours. And yeah, so that's it. I'm done. Catch you later. And that concludes the stream portion of the video. So now we've got the extra bit. And yeah, I'm going to take the time for the extra bit. See if we could round out the next 5 minutes. I sort of alluded to this earlier in the stream, but you know, figured, you know, save it for the end. I do want to try and up the video count for the back end of 2018, because I know that's been a bit lagging. And you know, like I said, shit happens. You know, real life gets in the way and that sort of thing, and I've been busy with some other stuff. But you know, I do want to get, you know, some stuff, some sort of regularity onto the channel, you know, at least for the rest of the year, and we'll see what happens next year. bit of a slowdown period. You know, like I said, stuff happens, and you know, I don't see anything drastic happening or anything like that. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, the point I want to make, back end, I'm hoping to up the video count to a point where there's some semblance of regularity, and even have a couple, at least have 1 month where there's like a month of daily videos somewhere down the line. Hopefully October, but if not, we can make it December and we could close out the year on that count. But in any event, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens on that count. Uh, so I got a couple things in the works. One of those things will be up hopefully this weekend, but more than likely it'll probably be next week. We'll start having some semblance of material. There's a couple big projects that I am putting together slowly but surely, hopefully before the year's up. Again, hoping October, but you know, before the year is up, you'll see that other, you know, one of those two projects up eventually. And you know, as far as the streams go, as far as these live sessions go, or even pre-taped sessions, I would love to do more of these on a regular basis. And you know, since I got the PVR ready to go, or digital recorder, whatever you want to call these things, you know, at least there'll be a little more variety and a little more stuff, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. So, anyways, if you stuck through the whole thing, or even saw portions of this thing for whatever reason, thank you. It's very much appreciated. I don't know how the sound quality is. I just sort of you know, hooked up the headphones, did a couple tweaks here and there to the audio, and that's it. So I don't know if it's sounding any good, any bad. Like I said, I'm working out the kinks. Hopefully the next time we get around to doing one of these things, it'll be a little better. It could only get better from here, but then again, it could also get a lot worse. So we'll see. In any event, that's the show, and I thank you for your time, whatever, you know, the time spent watching this program, and we'll try and get another one up sooner than later. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Till next time, take care. Good night. See you all later.